My mother never really liked me. I knew this even as a child. She was always angry with me, always watching me, always suspicious of me. If she saw me talking to a man, any man, she would lose her mind. It didn't matter who he was, a neighbor, a classmate, a stranger on the street. In her eyes, every man was a threat. Every conversation was a sin. She barely related with anyone outside her daycare. Even our neighbors, the ones who were genuinely kind to us, she pushed them away. She told them they were evil. She accused them of spiritually eating their own children. Good people, innocent people, and she destroyed those relationships with lies. My younger sister was different from me. She learned early how to survive our mother. She figured out that if she stayed in our mother's good books, the money would keep flowing. So she became our mother's informant. She reported my movements. She watched who I spoke to. She told our mother everything. I always knew what kind of person she was, but she was my sister, and I had no power to change her. By this time, my father had suffered a stroke. He was no longer working. He was receiving care in another state. The man who used to provide for us was now lying in a bed somewhere, unable to protect us from the woman he left us with. Then came the night that changed everything. There was a time when a particular telecom company offered free midnight calls. My younger sister used this service heavily. She would make calls deep into the night while we shared the same bed. I knew. My elder sister knew, but we said nothing. I never made midnight calls. I always switched off my phone by 9 p.m. because I knew that anything at all could be used against me in that house. But the next morning, my mother stormed into the room. She was not there to investigate. She was not there to ask questions. She had already made up her mind. She accused me of making midnight calls. I tried to explain. I told her it was not me. She refused to listen. She did not care about the truth. She never did. She grabbed the phone from my hand and smashed it on the floor. The screen shattered. The phone I had bought with my own money was destroyed in seconds, but she was not done. She slammed the door shut. My finger was on the doorpost. The door crushed my thumb. My thumbnail ripped clean off, blood everywhere, pain shooting through my entire hand. And my younger sister, the one who actually made the midnight calls, sat there in silence. She did not say a word. She did not defend me. She did not even flinch. The only person who showed concern was my elder sister, the second born, the one who would later be thrown out of the house alongside me. That morning, with blood still on my hand, I went to where my elder sister worked. She was teaching at a school. She looked at my hand and told me to go to a pharmacy immediately before infection set in. I went. They cleaned the wound. They gave me painkillers. I was in agony. Then I made a decision that I thought was brave but was actually foolish. I went to my mother's daycare. She looked at my bandaged hand. She looked at my face, and she said the words I will never forget. Leave my daycare. Never come back here again. When she came home that evening, she confirmed it. Go and find work elsewhere. You are no longer welcome at my daycare. The daycare I had helped build, the chairs I had carried every morning and every evening for years, the children I had helped teach, the compound I had swept, the labor I had given freely because I thought it was love, gone in one sentence. She also stopped me from going to church. I was a teacher in the children's section of our church. I loved those children. But my mother told one of the other teachers that I was living a life of prostitution. That was why she was pulling me out of church. A woman who had stopped going to church years ago was now deciding whether her daughter could worship God. A woman who belonged to the marine kingdom was calling her daughter a prostitute. I started looking for work, any work. I found a job paying 10,000 naira a month. 10,000 naira. That was my value in the marketplace after years of unpaid labor at her daycare. But I took it. I had no choice. During this time, a male friend gave me a phone as a gift. My mother seized it. She did not want me communicating with anyone, especially men, especially my boyfriend. My boyfriend came to where I worked and gave me another phone, but this time I was smarter. I used it only at work. Every evening before I went home, I switched it off and left it at my workplace. I never took it home. My boss knew about the arrangement because my boyfriend had explained the situation to him. In fact, one day I forgot and accidentally took the phone home. My boss had to come to our house and tell my mother the phone belonged to him before she would release it. Think about that. A grown woman's boss had to lie to her mother just so she could keep a phone. I moved from that job to another, paying the same 10,000 naira. Then I got a position at an NGO as a secretary, earning 15,000 naira. Slowly, I was building something. Slowly, I was becoming less dependent on her. Then I got a job at a financial institution after I finished my part-time schooling. Better pay, better prospects, a future. But the moment I started earning real money, my mother's demands increased. She mandated that I and my elder sister must each contribute 30,000 naira towards our annual house rent of 100,000 naira. On top of that, 6,000 naira every month for food. If we did not pay, we would not be fed in our own mother's house. I worked at the financial institution for 1 year. Then I was asked to resign. When I told my mother, she was happy. She smiled. She said she had already prophesied it. According to her, I never gave her the souvenirs I received from the job, so she had cast my position there. Meanwhile, the calendars hanging on our walls were from that very job. The souvenirs she claimed I never shared were decorating her own house. But the truth did not matter to her. It never did. Even after I lost that job, she still demanded the monthly food money and rent contributions from a daughter with no income. But something was changing inside me, something she did not expect. The dreams had started. At first they were confusing, shadows, faces I did not recognize, dark gatherings in places I had never been. But there was one face I always recognized, hers. I would see her in these dreams, surrounded by people I did not know, planning evil, orchestrating darkness, operating in a realm I had never understood. The more I dreamed, the more I understood. The more I understood, the more afraid I became, not of the dreams, but of the woman sleeping in the next room. She was not just a strict mother. She was not just mean. She was not just controlling. She was something else entirely. And somehow, she knew that I had found out, because after those dreams started, she became worse. The anger intensified, the control tightened, the hatred became visible. If I came home past 6 in the evening, she would lock me outside. Her own daughter, standing at the gate of her own home, locked out like a stranger. Everything was building, pressure, tension, revelation, conflict. Every day was a battle. Every night was a spiritual war. My elder sister stood with me through all of it. She was the only one, the second born, the one our mother had not promised to the water spirits. the one who simply loved me because I was her sister. But even she could feel it. Something was coming. Something bigger than all the arguments and all the phone smashings and all the locked gates. January 2013 was approaching, and when it arrived, it would change everything. Next time, I will tell you about the night I dreamed my mother attacked me, and how 8 hours later, the dream became reality. My name is Ifoma, and this is the Marine Bloodline.